The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. A hireman who is not a shepherd and whose sheep are not his own sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf catches and scatters them. This is because he works for pay and has no concern for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I will lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. This also I must lead. And they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock, one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to pick it up again. Now, no one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own. I have power to lay it down, and power to take it up again. This command I have received from my Father. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
After hearing from the readings today, it should be no surprise that this Sunday is known as, wow, paying attention, Good Shepherd Sunday. Therefore, our beautiful painting. Thank you for the artists who made this wonderful work to inspire the Good Shepherd within us. The Good Shepherd, Jesus Christ. Now, last week, I gave you homework. To pray for something? Finally. So only... Who raise your hand? Who remembered? And who actually prayed for that? One. Okay, two. No wonder we got the result we got. So I might have to throw away my homily and start a new one here. All right, let's go with it. Well, that's our priority. That's our focus. All right, so let me scratch my homily and do a new one here. Okay. So if you haven't noticed, we've been in a campaign to get a second priest, right? Yeah. We started the campaign the 2050. Average, we find out, the average family gives $20 a weekend, and those who are able to give more, they give $50 a weekend. That's what we notice is the average. And with that, we started a campaign to get a second priest. Why? Because we need one. Good. At least I didn't have to explain that. Okay. And according to the numbers, our community keeps growing. We may not see it at the Saturday, the 4 o'clock and 6 p.m., a small crowd. But here we begin to see it, and especially in the Spanish one at the 1 o'clock Mass, where the church is packed and people are standing. So it is obvious we have to do more Masses to be able to attend to those who are the Masses that are already in overflow, like the 1 o'clock. But looking at the number, we also have to prepare for the future. We have to be responsible. And instead of being reactive, we have to respond. And all the numbers that are coming from the city, from the real estate, from everywhere, it shows that in the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to have an influx of people, a whole flood of people coming into our neighborhood. Are you with me so far, right? Yes. You're not surprised? You've been informed, because I've been informing you for a long time. So now, how do we respond to that? Well, typically there's 2 ways to respond. Either we get a second priest, so that way we could have more Masses, and with more Masses, more space for people to come. So my goal, I would love to be able to have a set schedule on Sunday of 4 Masses. Right now we have the 9 and the 1. I would love to have a 7, a 9, a 11, and a 1. Pum, 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 pum. With 2 priests. That's very feasible, and therefore plenty of space for us to continue growing, which we know the numbers will be coming, and it's going to naturally happen. Now, if that plan doesn't work, and then we have to stay with only 1 priest, what will be the natural next step? Make the church bigger. I don't want to go that direction, because that entails a whole capital campaign to raise $2-3 million, and I've seen brother priests burn out trying to do that, and I don't even want to go there. So I rather pray that we get a second priest, and with that, more masses, more space, and then we'll find as we are. That's what I'm hoping. What's going to happen 5 years from now? I don't know. But we are in this boat together, and let's see where the Spirit leads us. So right now, so far we've been in the focus of, okay, let's get a second priest. That's the most logical and easiest solution to our challenges. Okay? So we did the campaign to see if we could raise the funds, if we could financially sustain a second priest. And you've responded. You responded with the bare minimum necessary to be able to provide for a second priest. I wish that we had a little buffer just in case, but hey, I'll take what we got so far. So this was inspired by the chancellor, the second in command, saying you might have to ask your people to see if they're willing to commit. And I did. I asked you. You responded, and therefore we told the chancellor, all right, we're ready for it. I think we are able to just hit financially. Send us the second priest. So this week you were supposed to pray. Pray for that second priest. 1, that we be ready. 2, that we may get one, and that we may get the right one, knowing that in the end it's going to be perfectly imperfect, because no perfect priest. We all have our imperfections, but our imperfections and our strength fit the personality and the character of each community. So we were praying for that, right? Just go like this for now. Okay. You didn't, but it's okay. We'll just keep moving forward. So the answer is, we don't have any priests. So we worked pretty hard, and now the bad news of we just don't have any priests. But really, not that. It's like a wake-up call. We don't have priests. Like last year, we didn't have a priesthood ordination. And the next 2 years, no priesthood ordination. We don't have priests. And the ones we're having and getting are, thank God that we're in Florida. So when they retire from up north, they come down here because it's nice and warm. And that's how we've been surviving, with a nice flow of priests coming. But eventually that will also twinkle down. So there is no priest. And in top of that, that makes it more challenging for us, is that we need a bilingual priest. Because if it's just one priest that speaks one language, what's going to happen? We're going to have a split community. That one priest that takes care of that community, the other priest that takes care of the other community. And that would just put us back. We've done a great job of moving forward and becoming one community, so the other priests have to have the challenge to at least know and be able to celebrate and preach the second language, whatever that is, if it's Spanish or English. So that makes it even more challenging. I would say we have about 130 priests in our diocese. We have about 76 parishes, plus all the missions and offices and things that happen in hospitals, nursing homes, and so on and so forth. Out of that 130 priests, it's about 10% of them who are bilingual. About 13 of them. And I'm one of them. You already got one bilingual priest, and that's a high commodity in our diocese. So as the diocese is looking, okay, let's send another priest to help them. One is, we don't have priests. And even harder to find a bilingual priest. So I'm kind of telling, ooh. Might as well keep going, because my whole homily has been different. So let's talk about the bats too. So now let's tie the bats together with this issue that we got going on. When I was on retreat this past week, when I was vacation that turned out to just be a time for retreat, I prayed about that, the whole issue with the bats. So Lord, what are you trying to speak? What are you trying to say through the symbol of the bats? Because boy, it shouldn't be that hard to get rid of bats. We've had the specialists come 5 times already, sealed about 10 different entrances where they're coming from, and we still have the issue of the bats. So I said, okay, Lord, you're trying to speak through the symbol. Those who are live stream, you're lucky. So I prayed about it, and I felt the Lord say to me, as you continue to move forward with the needs of our community of San Rita, a second priest, making them aware of what's coming in the future, keeping them focused on the 3 priorities. Now you can say what the 3 priorities are: hospitality, you should know the answer too. The answer is hospitality, youth and young families, vulnerable adults. So as you keep forward with that priority, and that is our priority for the next 3-4 years. It's not going to be expanding the church. After 3-4 years from now, we might have to look at other priorities, but this is what we discern. As you keep going forward, many thoughts, many ideas, many philosophies of life that have been hidden in the hearts of the community of San Rita, they're going to be exposed to the light. They're going to come out of the woodwork. And they'll be flying around in circles as bats. I think we'll continue to have the problems of bats as long as some of the issues that are hidden within the heart of each one of us remain there. See where I'm coming from? Let me give you an example. When I speak of the need of our church to have money, a whole bunch of bats come out of the woodwork. And I'm serious. Each one of you have bats inside. I speak of the need for finances of the church to care for our community, and all the bats within you get all riled up. Don't mess with my money. You find it however you can, but leave me and my money alone. And a whole bunch of bats begin to come out. When I speak about the future and the fact that people are coming to our parish, they will come, you like it or not. Oh, a whole bunch of bats, not in Dade City. We're a little town, and we will remain a little town, a rural small town. And all the bats begin to come out of anger, of they're invading my little country place. And all the bats just get rolled up within you. We will be stuck and continue to be stuck as a community until we take care of all those bats. Your finances, they're a gift from God. They're not yours. You don't believe me? What's going to happen when you die? Is that really yours? The people are coming. Those are a blessing from God. God is sending us people to welcome, to catechize, to evangelize, and draw closer to Christ. In the end, that is our mission. That's why we're Christians, to baptize and to teach what Christ has taught us. If there's no people, to whom you're going to preach, to whom you're going to evangelize, how will you grow in holiness? If they're not vulnerable adults, if they're not children to teach. Oh, let me not mention youth and family. How many bats have come out of that one? You mean that I have to go to Mass on Sunday? Can I just drop my keys to faith formation? A whole bunch of bats have been coming out from that one. Because I am prompting you and channeling you to come to Mass as a family on Sunday. That's a bunch of bats coming out of that one. And from the moment that I started saying, oh, you want to be a godfather or a godmother, you want to be a sponsor? Well, you have to be an example for that child. If you're living together, you have to be married in the church. Oh, boy. More than vampires came out of that one. And And when I ask you to pray, fast, and give, you resist. When I challenge you to grow, he's like, I'm too wimpy for this spiritual growth stuff. To pray, no, I don't have time for it. To fast, I don't want to be hungry. To give, what is mine is mine. I'm not going to give anything. Do you see the bats that are flying within our church? Because I'm tired of them. And I've given a good fight. And I brought the specialist. And I brought all the tools and the techniques and the knowledge and the experience that I have, and they're still flying within the church. I don't know what else to do. Until each one of you recognize what are those bats flying in your head and in your heart, we're going to be stuck and not move forward. And you know how we will know that we're moving forward? When out of our own community, we will have our own children responding to the call of priesthood, diaconate, religious life, because out of holy families come holy vocations. And if in your house is full of bats, what do you think is going to come out of your house for your children? Now, the good news here is that Christ is the good shepherd. And he's not going to run away. He's not a hireman. He's not concerned for pay. He's concerned for your soul and for your life. And he will lay down his life for you. And if I am to be in the heart of the good shepherd, I am and will continually lay down my life for you. And if I'm the only one working here and no second priest, then I will lay down my life for you. So that in doing so, you will see the good shepherd that cares for you. The good shepherd that loves you. The good shepherd that's willing to give it all because you are precious. You're a beautiful flock. Saint Rita, you are beautiful people. But I fear that the greatest of all bad is that you don't believe that truth. You think yourself of a puny little church out there in Date City that no one cares for. The ugly duckling that no one really finds value or worth or even worthy of love. That's a bunch of lies. I've been here for 2 years. And you are lovable. You are. Even with all the bats that keep flying around, you keep working hard. I see you trying. I see you fighting. I see you giving your best, and that makes me proud. It makes me happy to continue laying down my life for you. But we got to take care of those bats. Each one of you have to recognize what are they. And you have to expel them in Christ Jesus. Be like the good shepherd and lay down your own life for your children, for your family, for our community, for our parish. And when our children see that, then they too will be inspired to lay down their lives for the community and for the flock. We will continue to be in a crisis for priests, for religious sisters, for deacon, until we get rid of the bats and begin to live our lives as good shepherds ourselves, laying down our lives for our family, for our children, and our community. Our children will be raised inspired by our love, by our actions, and they will respond to the call. But in the meanwhile, if you want to stay in a cave in darkness surrounded by bats, that's not what we're meant to be. I call you forth to the light. Come to the good shepherd. Let him care for you. Let him bring to the light whatever it is of the bats that impede you from being the best you're meant to be. He will lay down his life. If he asks me, I will lay down my life for you. But will you be willing to allow the good shepherd to love you, to strengthen you, to heal you, to deliver you, to take all the bats from you, and to inspire you to be a good shepherd for others, to lay down your life? And you, my youth, here present, if the Lord is calling you to be a priest. Man up. Have courage. It is not an ordinary way of life, and it's not a natural way of life. It's an extraordinary, supernatural way of living life. And if I am now a source of inspiration to you as I preach, you can also do that. If it's your call, respond to it. We need you. Our church needs you. The Good Shepherd needs you. And in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Good Shepherd, may all those bats not only be exposed, but they may be exercised, that we may be what we're meant to be, the beautiful flock of San Rita.